So another thing I want to talk about is that I faced, and I know factually that other adopted kids out there faced because, well, the topic at hand is being biracial. Like, I personally, if you watch my intro, I'm biracial. I'm a biracial person. I'm black and white. I think more white. But still, my birth dad is black. His whole side of the family is black. Whenever I'm with them, like, I'm the light one, but I don't care because that's part of who I am. And I know that a lot of other kids do have this too. Like, it's very common for, even if you're not personally biracial, you're, say, adopted by a family that's of a different race than you are. I know a little girl, black girl, adopted by a white family. They almost didn't let her family adopt her because they didn't think that the family would be able to care for her hair properly. I guess it's very difficult, but they work that out because that's just kind of a ridiculous reason to not let a family adopt a child that they want to adopt. And I know I've babysat a couple little Chinese girls who are adopted by white families, so it happens a lot. I mean, look at Brad and Angelina. They have a bunch of little kids from other countries. So it's an interesting kind of thing because either you have your friends and say you trust them enough, you tell them you're adopted, then they meet your parents and they're like, all right. Or even if you don't tell them and then, oh, they see you and meet your parents and it's like, why are you so different? Or like me, my birth mom, amazingly enough, back in 89 when I was born, she was more so raised by her grandparents, but I'm pretty sure what she told me was that they weren't so happy about me, not just because she was pregnant out of wedlock, but specifically because it was a black man's child. I was the child of a black man. They didn't like that. They really didn't. So I'm pretty sure they didn't support her at all, or maybe even talk to her for a while. So that was a really cool issue. And then there's being with friends, which is totally fine, but let me just state, first of all, that it's a freaking joke if anyone wants to say that race is not an issue. Racism is not gone. It's a huge thing people judge each other on, and not everyone looks down on other races, but they have their prejudices. They have their stereotypical ideas about other races. So I'm two races. But I look white to most people. Some people can tell I'm two races, but most people can't. So I have had situations where I'll be with my friends and I'll tell them, oh, I'm quarter black, or especially if they ever say anything bad about any black people. I'm like, fool, hello. Half my family's black. Are you freaking kidding me? And it makes them feel a little uncomfortable because they have no idea. But at the same time, and a lot of times what they do is they're like, oh, but you don't look it. So it's like, okay, so ignore a whole part of who I am because I don't look like it enough. I don't think so. It's still a big part of me. So it's really interesting how race can play a big part in that. Or I do have a friend who is Filipino and half her family is white and she is the oddball out. It's very, very interesting how race can play even a huge role in adoption, because at this point, if it's not your biological parents, not only do you look different, not only do you have different genetics, but if you're two totally different races, that totally even changes up the game a little bit, adds a little spice to it. But who gives a shit? No. But I think it's good. I mean, maybe we'll provide more tolerance. Families are all different these days, so it's okay to have a family that's of different races. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't separate you from them. It doesn't separate me from my parents. My parents are not part black, and that's fine with me. And if you're an entirely different race from your parents, that doesn't separate you because that's not what matters. Who cares? It doesn't matter. If you're the same race, what matters is your attachment to each other and your relationship. So don't let that bother you, even if other people have weird reactions to it or are ignorant. It's not your problem. That's their problem. So be proud. Be proud of yourself and be proud of your parents who adopted you because they're awesome. They chose you. So that's it. I'll talk to you later. Mwah.